Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Diz.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. Okay, welcome back, everybody. A really quick recap. We have gotten ready to run into the burning building. Everybody's doused themselves in water, and we are more or less ready to go. Blaine cast a very significant tidal wave, and we're just looking to see the results. So let's jump right back into it. So, the tidal wave moves forward, crashes through the door, and just obliterates the fire in its path. As it does, there's a huge vent of steam that billows out the windows and out the door into you guys, but it's not too bad. Like, it's hot steam, but you're as prepared as you can be.
We're doused.
Yep. As the steam clears away, you can see that the tidal wave has cut a path through the fire that leads all the way to that center staircase. It doesn't look like it's had as much effect as Kenna would maybe suspect it would. Like, cause she has the spell, so as she kind of like checks out how much was done, it's not as much as she might have hoped. It's basically cleared you a 20-foot wide path straight to the staircase. Yeah. However, on the edges, even as you watch, you can see it starting to kind of like pull back into the center.
And Lazarus runs in.
Run.
Casting his stuff.
Yeah, looking for the detect.
Possible. Yeah, feeling out for like anything stronger elemental-wise or whatnot.
Okay.
Move through.
So everybody begins to run for the stairs. I need dexterity saves from everybody. Let's see how everybody does on
Lazarus
the floor.
is actually watching the floor, because that's why he's going first. He does need to watch that shit.
For sure. Trying to do as much as you can to minimize your damage.
That was
I'm
perception?
Sure. No, dexterity save.
Dexterity. I don't know why I thought it was perception for a moment.
Because you said you were looking for holes.
Ah, yeah. +5 for everybody, too.
Oh, dope.
Heck yeah.
Dope.
Except this.
Don't you far away?
Far.
Ah, no.
Aw, sad times.
It's okay, this is pretty agile. He'll be fine.
Hopefully the dex is fine.
Just dies. He'll be fine, dies.
Well, I mean, we could just turn him up and pick him back up.
That's true. Okay.
26.
26.
24.
21.
20.
Okay, good stuff.
Hey, Lazarus.
All right, so everybody begins running towards the center of the staircase. As you're running, you can definitely feel the heat. Like, even doused in the water, you can feel the heat coming off, and you can feel the water evaporating out of your clothes. You definitely feel like you have a window before your clothes will be too dry, and you can feel it ticking away already. That being said, you have no trouble crossing the first half of the top floor. As you run by, you notice a lot of machinery, and there's actually still fairly significant piles of wood that are more or less intact. They're burnt, but it definitely seems like the fire hasn't completely chewed through them, which does seem a little strange because it's been burning for days. Mm-hmm. But you're kind of taking that all in as you continue running for the staircase. I need another dexterity save as you close the second half.
Is there passive dexterity?
No, I don't think so. There's always that chance you could trip.
Is this... I can't tell him the number. Is it... Should I use my inspiration already?
That's up to you.
I think I have to with Lazarus, otherwise I might just open a hole for everybody.
Then do it.
You are out front.
Alright,
Okay.
I'll use my inspiration.
Clearing
see
your
what happens.
inspiration.
Oh.
Well, it's still 5 better.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
I mean, you
I
know.
rolled a 2 the first time.
Ooh, okay.
So, 7 plus 7 for 14.
Okay, 14.
12.
20.
26.
Okay. How ironic that the two people in front rolled low. Or no, sorry. The person in front and the person in the back, I mean. The two people in the fronts. It's good language, I know. I'm a DM, I swear.
On the outside of the group.
Yeah, the two people on the edges. Okay, so you're running forward, and you close about half the distance between the midpoint and the stairs. when suddenly your foot drops through the floor from the fire. It's just weakened the floor too much. You stumble and you fall, but you catch yourself. You don't go through the floor, but it stops your momentum. Everybody else ends up either it's their choice, run past him or stop with him.
I'm gonna run past because I know I have to cast a tidal wave.
Dis, you'll have a different thing because you rolled low too.
Okay.
I'll get to you in just a moment.
I'll stop, and I mean I can't really help Lazarus, but I'll stop and provide moral support.
Kenny, you said you were going to continue to the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dis, more or less the same thing happens to you. However, just kind of based on your natural dexterity, your foot goes through and you kind of instinctively tuck and roll and you pull yourself out. Lazarus is a little more stuck. He's just heavier. You just went through the floor a little harder. As you drop in, Nim stops to help you. Dis tucks and rolls and kind of ends up being right there with you because of that to help out as well. Kenna makes for the stairs. As Kenna reaches the stairs, you notice that that entire staircase leading down is just erupting flame. Definitely the tidal wave didn't reach it, or at least not in a significant enough capacity. At the same moment she reaches the stairs, you feel through the break in the floor, which has cleared that barrier for your detect magic, or for your detect good and evil. There is a very strong elemental presence on the floor below you.
Okay, at least we don't have to fire.
I will also note that as you stop to help him up, you can see the fire beginning to reclaim towards you.
Go. Get everyone ahead of me this time, as I slumber in behind.
No, I just I try to help pull his leg up since I was probably right beside it.
Yeah, and you're
I'm
tuck
assuming,
and rolled
I'm
anyway.
assuming we got like my leg out, and then
No, you'll have to strength
Okay.
check. It's a wooden floor, so when you crash through it, of course, you get like wedged into that wood, right? So strength check with advantage, or athletics roll with advantage, because this is helping you.
no, I didn't. You see that? That's a 1. 19.
Okay, I mean, still a 19.
Well, I had advantage, so I rolled a 1 and something else.
Oh, good. Okay.
If it was disadvantage, that was
Yeah,
awful.
Dis, basically, because he's already on the ground, basically just kind of gets up under you and shoves you upwards, and that combined with your own strength, you pop your foot out. It has left an opening in the floor now, and that opening, as you kind of like look down as you keep running for the stairs, you can see that second floor is on fire.
I suppose as we're running, like, elementals on the floor below us.
Alrighty, cool.
Everybody makes it to the stairs.
So I wouldn't have even have waited for them. I don't think I would have cast Tidal Wave.
Okay.
However, I'm just trying to figure out in sequence how fast he would have said elementals on the second stair.
He said it after he got up, so it's at least like 10 seconds.
Okay, so I would have just cast it like down.
So, okay.
It wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have heard the.
Well, no,
It's on
but
the
we can't douse us, no.
Well, no, because I would cast it the way like.
How
That is a good
Like-
point. Are you casting the tidal wave like down the stairs, basically?
No, it would be that like out because it's gonna go down.
Okay.
So it would be out across the floor and down.
Okay.
But are you gonna...
If it hits us, we take 48, though.
Yeah, if it hits you, you're gonna take damage.
Well, no, but we're just gonna stay close to get wet by it.
All right. And I would have remembered that. Kenna would have. Brittany doesn't. Kenna would have.
I mean, you told me where you were casting the spell.
Yeah, no, I would have cast it out though, like that,
Yeah.
So
to
kind of
fall
let it-
down.
Let it slosh down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, two things happen as you cast the waterfall. First, or not the waterfall, the tidal wave. First is as the fire continues to press in from the sides, those of you that are just catching up to Kenna, you can feel your clothes already almost completely dry, and it begins to singe you from the heat of the fire already as it returns. You'll definitely need to douse yourselves if you want to protect yourself.
Create or
further.
destroy water. I'll make it rain over top of us.
Okay. In the meantime, while you're all standing under this little cloud of rain, the tidal wave has washed forward, which obviously cleared a decent amount of stuff past the stairs, which isn't really all that important to you. But it did slosh down the stairs as well quite significantly. You do watch it clear the stairs down and an area around the second flight. And it does drop a little lower and starts to clear down the staircase to the third. However, as you notice it kind of washing out onto that second floor, it's clearing the fire on the second floor, but the fire that's holding on the third landing down isn't being doused. It's still continuing to rage. The water just boils straight off of it. It's definitely hotter than the other fire.
All right.
But you do have a place now where you can go to the second floor if you wish.
Okay, and as I'm at the stairs now, do I get a different thing from?
It's definitely a much stronger presence of elementals. You kind of get the feeling that there is an elemental presence on the second floor, but as you watch the water steam off the fire that's not being doused, blocking your access to the third level of the basement, you get a very strong elemental presence from below that.
Multiple elementals.
There's even more elementals on the third. Or a bigger one, perhaps.
Talk as we're on the stairs. Where are we going?
Down?
Which level?
Well, we're stopping at the second first, aren't we?
Yeah.
We have to
Okay.
360.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Dexterity saves going down the stairs.
Lazarus is in the middle of the pack now, so everyone does get the bonus, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nice. Well, that worked.
10.
Okay.
33.
Jesus.
24.
20.
Okay.
Somebody help Lazarus.
So the good news is you don't fall through the stairs. The bad news is the stairs have gotten so wet from the water that you slip as you go down the stairs, which makes you take a bit of a tumble and you end up landing on the second landing. It's not too serious. You take 2 damage as you land.
Lazarus's fault.
God damn it.
Every
Sorry,
time.
I couldn't.
And technically that would have been a surprise damage, so I will need you to roll concentration.
Does he, however, does he sop up some water because he slipped on the stairs to re-get his...
I'm sure it doesn't hurt. I mean, they were taking the rain as well, so I'm counting it as a...
I kept.
Okay, good. So, second landing, is everybody just looking in different direction? Is that the idea?
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
I got my detection thing on, so I suppose.
Fair enough. Perception checks then, from everybody.
Oh, that's a
Ooh,
massive.
yeah.
14.
17.
12.
28.
Okay. So, the second landing is different than the first. The first is it does appear to be more storage than tools, so you can see, even in the small area, that you've cleared a lot of wood. That has meant that on the second floor, the flames are much more intense. They basically glow from floor to ceiling. It's a wall of fire. Kenna, you're looking to the south, back towards the way that you came from on the first level, and as you watch that fire kind of pull back from the water, clearing it out, you see a face in the flame kind of open its eyes and its mouth, and you just kind of hear it like, and just kind of starts moving towards the group.
Well, there's a face coming at us.
I try to get myself out prone.
Okay, fair enough. You probably have time for that. It's basically right here.
Okay.
Holy
so
shit.
where did we land scattered around that staircase?
You're all tighter together in that square right where you are. You can move the other 2 closer to you, basically. And at this point, I would say roll initiative.
Yay!
It is time.
Nope. Lazarus is a slow bitch.
Well, I mean, you did just get up off the ground, so I mean, you know.
Yep. Should just multi-class Lazarus into barbarian. Go with the 2-hander.
Okay, 20 and above.
22.
Okay, this with the 22. 15 and above. Okay.
Oh,
10 and above.
13.
Okay. Nim is 13. 5 and above.
7.
7.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I guess Lazarus or Kenna? Like, do you,
I'm going to likely do more damage.
Or, yeah, but...
You can go first, and I guess I can...
I don't know. It depends on if I want a position to where you are after your turn or before your turn. It's kind of the thing.
Laz first, so that
Laz
if you
first.
take damage.
Then I can...
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Lazarus first with a 7. Kenna last with a 7. Okay, so you're basically clustered around the stairs, but for the purposes of the fight, it's not really going to make a difference because it's basically 3-dimensional. The creature is about 10 feet away from the closest to you and is moving slowly towards you, but you can see because of how doused the wood got, its progression was slowed a little, giving you some time to react, specifically giving Dis time to react. So, Dis, you are first up.
Pull my weapons. Be like, you're not gonna give me fire. I'm gonna go up and try to slash it.
Okay, you're gonna run up to the fire and start to slash it?
Up. I'm gonna try it. I'm trying to do it, like, basically that with the idea that I'm attacking a freaking inferno, so it doesn't really make sense, so it's really kind of touchy that I'm gonna jump back really quick.
Okay.
And use my swashbuckling.
Sure.
It looked like you had an idea. Or a thought.
Sure did.
But then she got an idea.
Did you lose it?
No, I know what it is. It's just, it's
18.
a little fun.
18 to hit?
Yeah.
That is
Or,
a hit.
sorry, 20.
Oh, to hit. Either way.
Okay.
Dice.
I was not prepared. Okay. I'm not going to do anything special on this one. I will use my my sneak attack.
Well, that is something special.
Yeah, but you do.
But it's not maximum.
It's not maximum special?
Maximum special is the quantifier.
Is that Dis now?
Oversave.
Dis is just Deadpool now? Maximum effort!
It just falls.
Superhero landing.
Oh god. Alright.
That's Lazarus on the stairs. He's gonna do a superhero landing, lands on his back.
Nailed it!
It's just like, ah.
Ooh.
It's tough.
13.
13? Okay. Okay. So, and then you said you were gonna back off right away?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump back without using my bonus.
Just with the sloshbuckler's
Yeah,
feet?
not using it yet. Like, I want in my turn, but just jumping back in case there was a reaction to what I did.
Okay, there is, and I'll get to it as soon as it... So basically, you run up and you give it, like, the double slash. You do, like, there is a certain amount of resistance to hitting the fire. It's not like slashing through fire. There's definitely some sort of... something keeping it together. It is a creature. That being said, you do feel like your blades... It was resistant to the type of damage, so it only did half damage. So it does affect you when you attack it. Basically, you can't run up to something that's on fire and slash it and not get hit by something. That being said, it's not a reaction. It just naturally happens anytime it's attacked in melee range. So normally, you would have taken 9 fire damage from attacking it in melee. But because you're doused, I'm lowering it to 5.
Okay.
But I will say you've probably only got one more go at that before you're dry.
Okay. That extends to the same time window, so if I bonus attacked on the next one, like attacked it twice, I would just take that one hit of fire damage.
Creatures. The way it's written, it kind of sounds like it happens every attack, but that doesn't make that much sense to me. So we'll say it's just the first time you do it.
Okay.
Because if you would have done both attacks, it probably would have only happened once anyway. At least that's how I'm going to call it.
I'm going to back up 5 feet.
Okay.
With the assumption that Lazarus is going to come, and I'm going to hold my cunning action for if Lazarus moves by me, I'm going to hide behind him.
Okay. Basically, if he blocks the visibility of you to the elemental, you mean?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he passes anyway, if the view of the elemental for me as in any way getting blocked, and I assume I could actually try to sneak up on.
Yeah, certainly. You won't be able to move, but you would be able to like crouch down and try to hide.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds
I
fine.
have a feeling the elemental's going to move before Lazarus.
Very possible.
Well, I mean, that is a fair point, but who knows?
And it seems like it was resistant to my damage.
I feel like I mean, like, the building's on fire, so there's kind of like that, like, roaring infernal sound constantly, so I feel like you're just, like, shouting at him. Like, I like it, though. Okay, anything else from Dis?
That's it.
Okay. Lazarus was definitely right. The elemental is definitely going to get to move next. So, I'm gonna hide. So, the elemental moves through Dis into that center area because it's made of fire. It doesn't have to take up a 10 by 10 space. It can squeeze itself with no repercussion. As it moves through Dis, Dis, I need you to... Oh, actually, never mind. There's no saving throw for it. You just get burned by fire.
Ouch.
You take 2 fire damage.
Okay.
Normally, you would catch fire from it moving through you, which would basically put a burn on you that somebody has to, like, douse or put out. However, because you guys doused yourselves already, this just makes you dry. So you're bone dry at this point.
Okay.
Then, because it's in that center area now, it is going to make its attack. Who does it attack? I mean, Dis was the one that attacked it, but it definitely saw Kenna use the water. So yeah, no, it's attacking Kenna.
It misses.
It's got 2 attacks.
I can make it miss once. I can only use Portent once per round, so...
Okay, so first attack, what roll do you give it?
We'll just give it the 3.
Okay, and that would only make it a 9, so I'm sure that misses.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we're wearing armor, remember.
For Kenna, I don't think it matters, does it?
No.
I don't think you wear... Or Kenna, you have
I
armor
do
on,
wear
don't you?
armor, but it only
Her
lowers
AC
my AC to 2, down by 2.
Yeah,
Okay, so you'd still be like
And
15.
yeah, so
Okay. The second attack, however, is going to be 15.
so that would
I guess that is a tie, isn't it?
that's a tie. Yeah.
Okay. So it will damage you.
Can I use a reaction?
What's the reaction?
Absorb element.
Absorb elements.
Yes.
Okay.
So read it out.
The spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack, which I don't do, but whatever. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type and the spell ends.
Okay, that's fair. So basically, for this round, you take half damage from fire.
Yes.
That's probably not a bad thing. Let's find out how not a bad thing.
I guess I could.
6.
I only take 6 damage?
You only take 6 damage because the whole thing is halved.
Sweet.
You normally would also be lit on fire when it touches you, but because you're doused, we'll say you kind of the same deal. You've got one more go before you're be susceptible to being lit on fire. And yeah, that's the end of its turn. It just kind of hangs out there in the middle of you guys. Nim.
Decisions. God damn it. Okay.
He's casting a spell.
Yeah, I'm definitely casting a spell. It's just like, which one?
No, I meant that was your incantation.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna cast a chromatic orb at it.
Okay. I don't think you've used Chromatic Orb yet in the party, so just read it out for
You're gonna pop
everybody.
the gem out of your case.
Yeah, I pop the gem out and I focus my spell focus through the gem, I think is how it works or something.
I think from a RP standpoint, that's probably how they imply it works, yeah. I should say, for the Fire Elemental, its attack is literally just, it reaches out with fire and just engulfs you with it.
Okay, so chromatic orb. You hurl a 4-inch diameter sphere of energy at a creature you can see within range. You choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder for the type of orb you create, and then make a ranged spell attack against the target. If it hits, the creature takes 3d8 damage. Not bad for a first level spell. So I'm going to make it cold.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I will point out, because it was moving through water, like the floor is so wet, it did take 1 damage on its turn for moving through the water.
Haha.
Okay, so...
It's the little pictures.
Huzzah! Oh, that probably hits. 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and then can I borrow some I'm just gonna call your D8s.
And it was cold damage?
Cold damage.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's not nice.
Oh, I thought there was.
Yeah, I thought that was a 7 too, and then I was like, nope, that's a 1. That's 9 damage.
Okay. 9 damage.
Just a bit below average. It's okay.
Okay, so Nim pulls out the gem, focuses his spell focus through it, and mumbles his incantation of and the chromatic orb shoots out, impacts the thing. Good news and bad news, it doesn't do double damage. It's not technically vulnerable to cold. However, it does do full damage, so that's nice. And you do see it kind of like, you can see some of the fire kind of like writher away from the cold temperature, and it does seem to have taken damage. Anything else from Nim? I will say you can move away from the creature if you choose to, but the fire's only about 20 feet away in either direction, so you don't have a ton of maneuverability space.
Nope. I think I'm just gonna stay there, stick it out with the rest of the party.
Don't want to
Stay
trigger that
within-
reaction.
Well, and I want to stay within Lazarus's
Thingamaduber.
Field of not rape.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, you will notice at this point, nobody's taken half damage from the fire. It turns out everything I found was that the elementals they're magical creatures, but the fire they're made out of is just pure raw fire. It's not magically created. They're magically created, but the fire they generate is not. Okay, so that was Nim. Lazarus.
Alright, well, I ain't got much else to do.
Lazarus turns around and engages the fire elemental that's in the center of the party.
Curious about reading one thing or not. I don't think this does anything extra for it. So I should probably hold on to it. Yeah, I'm just gonna whip out the hammer, and I'm just gonna go for a swing.
Give it a smack.
And I'm gonna give it a side swing, not go through the floor.
Okay, that seems fair. Nobody wants to roll that nat 1 crash through the floor and murder the party.
No.
Not that I would do that.
Of course.
Just look at him. It's a good thing. This is why I do this, because I have to make sure.
Oh my god.
This is
That moment
why...
when Lazarus realizes he's already used his inspiration.
Well, I mean, what am I gonna do now?
Fair enough. Okay, so for those of you at home, Lazarus rolled a nat 1, which means we will use our tables.
Yay!
So I think we explained this once already, but we have a crit success and crit fail tables that we use just to add a little bit of spice to the failures.
And just so we don't cleave into our teammates
Constantly.
Hey, man.
Hey, you weren't the only one. You weren't the only
I
one.
was like 80% of them.
It created a lot of contention. Lazarus's previous character almost murdered a pet.
I'm not gonna roll 2 now. What?
Okay, so I need the D100, and then we'll see what happens.
That should be massive. Actually, it's 19.
19. Was that one of the ones we kept? Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong tables.
Well, I mean, you can go from the crit success table.
Yeah, for sure.
Bludgeoning.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yes, we would.
Oh, okay. So, what happens is that Lazarus is getting ready to encounter the fire elemental. He gets his weapon ready, and he goes to make that horizontal swing. And it's a big hammer. It's a two-handed weapon. It takes a lot of effort. And he basically goes to take the big inhale of breath he always needs, and doesn't realize where he is, and takes a huge inhale of superheated air, and it completely knocks the wind out of him, and just completely stalls the attack as he starts coughing violently. You take first level of exhaustion.
Damn it.
It's just severely limited your lung capacity.
Can you read out Exhaust 1 for me?
Yes, Exhaustion 1 is disadvantage on ability checks.
Alright.
So for now...
Not so bad. One more time!
He picks himself up and he goes for it again.
One more time. Alright. That's a 16.
That is a hit.
I'm gonna first level smite.
Okay. The Paladin Hammer glows with righteous holy fury.
I'm gonna need my dice back.
And he swings.
2d8 for first level, right?
On home run.
Right. 16? I guess you want them separate?
Yes, please.
I'll take the one with the low dice because I didn't call it. So the radiant is 6.
6 damage.
And 10 bludgeoning.
Okay. Okay, so the bludgeoning damage is halved, but the radiant is full.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you swing the hammer, it's covered in that radiant energy, it slams into it, and you watch the fire kind of like billow out from the impact, and it definitely seems to have hurt the creature. However, that billowing action and the fact that you hit it with a melee attack does backwash fire into you. However, thanks to being doused already, like I did for Dis, I'm going to half that damage, so you only take 3 fire damage, and you've got one more shot at that before you're dry.
As my bonus action,
Mhm.
shout out, are we staying or down?
Okay, he shouts that out. The party will take a moment to consider. It's Kenna's turn now. I will note, Kenna, just for your own mental imagery, that the elemental, despite being hit by several other individuals, still really seems to be quite focused on you, since you were the one that used the water. It seems quite perturbed, actually.
So he's right on the staircase. Just tidal wave it. Right down the stairs.
He's like in the middle of the staircase.
He's in the middle of you guys.
That's the thing. So he's in the middle of us. So if I tidal wave, all of your asses are getting knocked out.
We'd have to set up for a turn, but
well,
I'm saying we can't just wash it down.
True. Or at least the attempt can be made. If you can all coordinate that very quickly over your next rounds.
Okay, well...
Well, we don't have... I'm just...
No, sir.
No, I think I wanted to tidal wave him, but, like...
Him being able to be in center of us.
Oh, sorry for the interruption. I need a constitution check because of the fire damage you took.
No, not that my detect is very... Oh, I lost it, but it's not very useful to me anymore.
I mean, you know what's around.
We confirmed there are elementals.
You know what's around.
Okay, so... I would see that this is dry.
Yes.
I would know that I'm almost dry.
Yes.
I would see that he's almost dry.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the logic jump.
Well, we still have water skins, and we don't even know how much it's going to deal per turn yet.
But I also get an extra d6. I'm gonna if on a melee attack.
Don't hit it with fire.
Yeah, it's the same element.
Oh, the same element of the
Don't
trigger.
hit it back.
I see.
Don't.
Triggering.
Did we learn nothing from the demon trees?
Apparently.
Right. Okay. Well, that doesn't really help me.
Yeah, no, it's just that reaction to save your health.
Yeah. Oh, I can make it rain again.
Sorry, I just thought I saw something out the window.
There's strangers walking.
Yeah, that's probably what I saw. I think I saw the reflection of them. Oh, I will note, I'm not doing the sand timer for how dry you get during the fights, because they all happen in 6-second intervals, and that just wouldn't make any sense at all.
It's fair. So, I'm going to make it rain over top of us and tell everyone to get out of the way so I can wash it downstairs.
Okay. Banking on it not being able to understand common, I like it.
Say it in Draconic.
Well, now only half the party can understand it.
No, I know.
Everyone except Dis, I think.
Everyone except Dis.
Poor Dis.
But I make a movement at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fair. I mean, I was making a joke about the common. I feel like a fire elemental is way more likely to understand Draconic than a common.
Oh, fuck it.
That's just my little mind game I like to play.
And that's all I can do.
Did you move?
I tell everyone else to move.
Oh, I will. I'll show you where the stairs down are, just so that you kind of have an idea of where they are. So the stairs down are basically, Lazarus is more or less on the stairs. It's this block of 4 is the stairs down. So
Okay,
only
so
Lazarus really has to move. But everybody else can't be on that side of you when you cast either, or they're going to get obliterated.
So they all have to be back here.
Yeah, they should all move behind you.
Okay. Well, because I would have known that.
Yeah, I mean, you
would've-
could point to where
Yeah.
you want them to be, certainly.
So it's raining on top of the fire elemental.
Yes, it is.
I like it. He came and slapped you, you're fire, and you're like, bitch, I'm gonna make it rain.
Water!
Are you shitting me?
Actually, not a bad idea. Since it got hurt by the water on the floor, it'll probably still get treated.
Mm-hmm.
Just not a ton.
Well, it's...
But it'll...
Yeah. 10 gallons
can't.
of...
I've been in fire elemental before, so I can't use that knowledge.
Don't you?
I can't use the knowledge.
He can't tell you how much it'll hurt it.
Did it hurt it, though?
We won't know till the start of its turn. That's how
okay.
how water affects it. It has to be the start of its turn.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, so Kenna's turn is done. She's indicated where she wants everybody to be. That takes us to Dis.
Okay.
I'm also sorry, nothing got in the way of the fire elemental to let you hide.
I'll back it up here.
Okay.
And I will attack.
Okay. I will note, you've probably been re-wet by the rain, but it'll probably only give you, like, one safety. It's not being doused. It's a small amount of water.
Okay. I crit.
Okay.
I'm going to snack attack, and
Alrighty.
I'm also going to use goading attack.
Well, don't get ahead of me now. All right, let's do the D100 first. But yes, I know you're gonna... So you do goading attack, which adds damage too, right? And then sneak attack. So, just critting it as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I get it.
Which is going to be rough, because I haven't done this in a while.
It's just a D100.
Do you need some more D6s? Or you got it?
I got D6.
Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. It's fine.
I got it.
It's cool.
It's fine.
It's fine in the D100.
I can give you that, dude.
I got the reading.
Yeah, I think some other
somebody-
people got him out.
Here, use it.
I mean, my D100s.
Oh. 4.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's 4 away from the perfect.
Okay, it's got to make a con save. It's pretty conny, so it's fine. Nothing happens from the D100. But, I mean, you still get to double all that damage.
So
and
noted.
it's
These are
fun.
good for fails, because they rolled me a 19 and him a 4.
Yeah.
Great fails. I told you, man. Oh, that's even
closer.
worse.
All right. All of that's the same damage type, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can just give me the total.
Is there goading attacks?
Yeah, hold on.
Don't make him do math.
At least one of them was better.
24.
24.
It was 10 or 11 damage total on the sneak attack crit.
And I thought I rolled more.
Yeah, that was at least it wasn't a fireball.
I will use my bonus action attack again.
Okay. Here we'll do the fire damage.
Oh,
coming
sorry,
out of the attack
the
real quick.
Goading attack needed a saving throw.
Yes. Okay, it's a good thing that I told you that rain falling from the sky counted as you being partially wet. You only take 5 damage instead of the full 10.
Yeah. Elementals are mean against melee.
What kind of saving throw is it?
Wisdom.
The wisdom save is a 16.
I think that ties.
Oh,
Succeed then.
it's not taunted.
Not in an
second.
official capacity, but he did just hit it pretty hard. He might be kind of pissed.
14?
That's a hit.
I'm gonna use another goading attack.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, that's better.
14 damage.
14, okay.
And wisdom save.
Yes, and then the wisdom save.
Yep. Don't worry, I got it. Wisdom save this time is a 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Success.
So, I'll describe your attacks and then you tell me how you taunt it.
Okay.
So the first one was a crit. So you basically step to where Kenna wants you to not get hit by the waterfall, and you just whip out both blades and you twirl them in your hands and you just cross cut. And you cut it in half before the fire reforms. And then you kind of as a casual, at the end, you just give it you're starting to walk away from it almost, and you just give it a casual backwards stab and whatever you want to say to piss it off.
I just make sure that some of the rain gets on the blade before I stab it the last time. I'm like, you like that?
Okay, all right. So yeah, just gives it a little flavor. And then, are you going to stay there, or are you going to move?
I'm gonna. Oh god!
I think so.
Why did you have to say it draconic?
I pointed, too.
Yes, she did point.
You pointed.
I directly pointed, like...
You heard her shout something out and then point back behind her.
Yeah. That's about what you got. It's up to you what you think Dis would do with that.
Shit.
Oh, I will say the elemental seems to be about half the size it was when you started.
I back up.
Okay.
About 10.
All right. And it can't opportunity you because of your swashbuckler thing? Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Dis?
No.
Okay. So, Elemental's turn. And it is still goaded even if you move away. Which is good and bad. Because now it has to chase you away from the stairs. It takes 1 damage from the rain. And it moves through Kenna on its way to Dis. So you are going to take... you're also counted as still a 1 douse, so you'll take 4 damage from the fire as it moves through you. Dis, it does not move into you. Oh no, actually it does move on top of you. And you already... Okay, this one's going to be full because the rain was cleared by the reflective attack. So, it is going to... It touches you, which does 6 damage, and lights you on fire.
Okay.
So, the way that being lit on fire works is at the start of your turn, you will take 1d10 fire damage until somebody does an action to douse you.
1d10.
Yeah, either yourself or somebody else has to douse the fire.
Basically, it just costs an action.
Exactly. It basically costs an action to put yourself out. However, that's just its movement. Now it will take 2 attacks on you.
Okay.
Nim, are you doing anything with those before I roll?
He'll prevent... Well, yeah, I guess it will probably prevent... He'll prevent the first one.
What roll do you give it?
It's a 5.
Okay, a 5. Dis, what's your AC without your armor on?
It should be, it's 10 plus dexterity, isn't it?
Yeah.
15.
Okay, so that'll be fine. That one misses.
On that one, I use my reaction to Ripazay.
Okay, on the missed attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Combo!
God damn it! I think I can make that better. 11.
That's a miss.
God damn it.
Which is good and bad, because it means you don't get the reflective fire right on top of that.
That's true.
The second hit is a miss as well.
Nice.
But you are still on fire.
Mhm.
I will say as well, there's nothing on the card that talks about what the fire does to your clothes, but I'm going to say if it lasts any longer than a round, it's going to start getting pretty bad for your clothing.
Oh boy.
He's gonna come out buck naked again.
Man, Diz always be coming out of fights buck naked. How'd that work? At any rate, that's the elemental's turn. Nim.
Okay. Got an idea.
Oh, so sorry. The elemental is moved away from the stairs now by a good, 30 feet.
Yeah, it's like 20 feet away.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 20 feet away. Just for people that can't see the board.
I'm going to try... Alright. From my reading, I think this should work, but I'm going to cast Phantasmal Force on it.
Okay.
And I want it to think that it's in a 10 by 10 cube of water that's, pressing in on it with intense pressure to the point that it can't move.
Okay, fair enough. For Phantasmal Force, that doesn't count as... It doesn't do, the restrained and stuff thing, right? Or read it out to
I
me?
think if you make them restrained, it does it.
Yeah, because there are certain... I forget
Until
how it
it
works for things that are
succeeds.
immune to things.
Perceivable only to the target for duration. While the target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any logical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm. For example, a target attempting to walk across a phantasmal bridge that spans a chasm falls once it steps onto the bridge. If the target survives the fall, it still believes the bridge exists and comes up with other explanations for the fall.
Makes you stupid.
So, as far as I'm aware, you can use it to paralyze people. I think we've used it that way.
Yeah, that's how you did the chains before.
Yeah, I've used
I know you can use it to force something to be, like, paralyzed or restrained. What I'm just trying to figure out is what happens if the thing you do that to is immune to being paralyzed and restrained.
Oh.
Because it's a mind.
Well, no,
I think because
it's freeform.
No, but, like, the spell itself is affecting the mind, not the physical body.
Mm. So it believes it's
So-
been contained?
So
Well,
it will
believe-
Yeah,
believe
the way that it's worded is it says it'll do whatever mental gymnastics is required to justify it to itself. So, like, even though in theory it would know that it's immaterial and can't be restrained, the phantasmal force is supposed to make it believe it's restrained anyway.
or like-
Yeah.
Which I think, according to the reading, I'm going to say it applies.
Because
I
it's not
think
like
fine.
paralysis lasts for X amount of time
Yeah.
and it really sucks. Whereas this is like every round it can do an intelligence check, and if it passes, so initially before this would even take root, it has to fail an intelligence saving throw. Essentially.
Yeah, all I would say is, like, normally, I mean, I'll just say, a fire elemental is normally immune to being paralyzed or restrained, but because of the way phantasmal force is worded, I think it takes precedence.
And I mean, if you were to shove it
Fail
into a
to
big
save.
body of water, it would...
Yeah, it would feel bad for it anyway, one way or the other. So, on the intelligence check, that is a 13.
Oh yeah, that's a fail.
Okay. So, it believes itself to be restrained, and it's going to take damage if it fails the intelligence check, if I remember correctly.
It takes damage on my turn, so the first round it doesn't take damage, I believe.
Right, because it's the start of your turn.
Yeah, the casting it. Then once it comes back to my turn, then we'll take damage, which is only 1d6 psychic.
Okay, and judging based on its size, how much water is it going to think that's going to be? It's going to be like a lot of water. Like, a lot of water. Okay.
Well, to it, because the way I envision it, because it says you can make up to a 10 by 10 cube.
Yes.
So I would just envision, like, it's on the inside and all it can see is water,
Yeah.
essentially. So it wouldn't be able to deter... It would think the whole floor is filled with water.
Yeah. Or at least its vision is
There is
water.
as far as it can see, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So we'll deal with how it deals with that when its turn comes around. In the meantime, anything else from Nim?
Yeah, I'm gonna... damn it. I'm gonna... Okay. 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm gonna look at it and go... Try to make it think it's underwater.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Reinforcing the phantasm.
My poor little fire elemental. It's just so confused now. Okay. That'll take us to Lazarus.
This is going to look weird to it.
According to Phantasmal Force, it'll do whatever mental gymnastics required. So I assume it'll just think it's in a cube of water, but you're somehow, like, poking at it through it or something.
Alright, so where I'm still out of reach and range are the other party members. I'll take a swing.
Okay, fair enough. Give it a, the hammer throw. Jeez,
cord.
man.
It hit the
So
core.
It
close.
didn't land
Just
slanted.
makes you sick.
Rolled a 2.
Oh, the other one's a 19. So 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
Just hit Kenna every time.
That'll be another...
Gonna smoke it with a smite.
I guess I'll use this first level again?
Okay. Make sure you pick which dice is the radiant this time.
Yeah. That'll be the 2 stone dice. The plastic will be bludgeoning. Wow. 6 radiant.
Okay.
And 10 bludgeoning again.
Okay.
It's like literally the exact same as last
That
time.
is literally the exact same as last time. Okay.
Alright.
11 damage total. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Then I can move over here. I use my bonus action. I'm just like, Kenna said behind her, away from the stairs.
Thank you.
Middle of combat, Lazarus is just throwing shade on Dis.
No, not shade. He was just, he knew, you know he doesn't speak Draconic, so like he's right there.
All right, anything else from Lazarus?
No.
All right, Kenna.
Well, I can't do what I wanted to do.
Nope. But I'm sure there are some people out there who need a healing by now.
There is, but I don't really have spell slots to give to people.
Also, I don't want to alarm anybody, but Dis is still on fire.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a dick or anything, but he is still on fire.
I can also just make it rain again.
Kind of like, what's your hell of that?
44. Cyber.
Yeah. The elementals still go to you too.
Only until the end of my next turn.
I could also give him protection from energy.
That just gives him resistance.
Yeah.
He's better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Is it touch or ranged?
Let's touch. Oh, I'm gonna have to get close.
We have to reach into the elemental to get the dance.
But the thing is if I do that, it's a 3rd level, and it's taking one of my slots.
I mean, you still have a few for healing.
Yeah, but we don't know what's downstairs.
I like the juxtaposition of Kenna sitting there being like, do I want to use this spell slot? I'm not really sure. Meantime, Dis is just like, I'm on fire!
Well, regardless, he's gonna be put out his turn.
I can just
If
imagine.
you're looking to limit spell slots, you could just go and put Dis out.
Yeah, it just takes an action to put
It just
out.
takes an action. It doesn't take any spell slots or anything. So you just walk up, put out Dis, and I mean the
That
elementals,
prevents 1d10 damage.
which is pretty significant.
Oh, I'm so not sure what the elemental's going to do on his next turn.
Where are you going?
Putting this out.
You're not on a square.
Well, I can't get.
Yes, you can. Stand here.
I don't know where this. I can't see on the other side of this thing,
Yeah, the figurine
Blocking.
blocks are.
so I couldn't see where it was. There.
Now
you go.
Dis is dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, stop, drop, and roll, right, Dis? So, no, if Dis was going to put himself out, I would say you have to go prone, stop, drop, and roll. But since Kenna's just going to kind of like pat you out, I assume with like her cloak or whatever, you are now out. But still dropping.
party.
You are out of the party. Get out. Okay. Anything else from Kenna?
Yeah, I could bonus action cure you. Or, yeah, healing word. Whatever one it is.
Not sure. Might be okay with it for now.
Lazarus still also has
Yeah.
You also still have
I have
healing.
my
Okay,
healing,
fine.
which I can't turn into water.
No,
That's fair.
that's fair. Okay, well, I'll end my turn.
Okay. Dis, that's you, buddy. The fire elemental's just standing there. Looks confused.
You have no power over me.
That's Dis's
Just
way of saying
crit
he's
fails
Thank you,
attacked.
Kenna.
Also, thank you, Kenna.
Yeah, just crit fails. That's
I'm just waiting for it.
It hits now, I
15,
think.
yeah.
That's a hit, yeah.
Okay. Sneak attack.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it's a bit better.
For 15.
Okay. I mean, he's definitely getting there.
I'm going to use my bonus action to attack
Okay.
for 19.
That's definitely a hit.
So tempting. Yeah. 10 damage.
Okay. So halved to 5.
Sorry, this was... I have slashing written down because scimitar, but... Is slashing or piercing?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was
the
going to say, for
purposes
this I
of
don't think it
creature.
matters, but...
Yeah.
In case.
And there's still scimitars. We just visualize them as daggers because it just looks funnier.
Daguitars.
Yeah. It doesn't actually affect their damage type.
So they're like scimitars, but they're just like really small.
No, I think they're just like, they're scimitars, but they just look like really big daggers.
No, I guess I just back out of the actual elemental himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from Dis?
No, should be good.
Okay. So now it's the elemental's turn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with it just yet. So I'm going to start with the first thing that I'm confused about, or thinking about, I should say. So normally, the fire elemental takes a certain amount of damage when it's encountering a certain amount of water.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really encountering that water. It just thinks it is.
That's the psychic damage that happens on my
No, I know your psychic damage. I'm talking about the independent part where the fire elemental just takes
if believing
damage
that
from
it's
water.
being damaged by water is his psychic effect.
Right. Well, no, like, I mean, normally that would work no matter what.
Right,
Fire
but I mean-
elementals also have a water vulnerability
But
that
I mean,
makes them take water from damage.
But I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's-
But you can still do your psychic damage,
yeah,
of
it's
course.
but them believing that it's taking the damage is played
Is
into
his damage.
psychic.
Yeah, but he doesn't physically receive water, so I think its water susceptibility won't proc. But in the meantime, definitely roll your
Oh no,
damage
it's
for-
on my turn.
Oh, it is on your turn. Okay, okay.
I mean, I'll reread it, but I'm pretty sure it's on my turn.
It's not
On my
really on wet ground anymore, so it's not going to take that 1 damage from that. The next thing I'm having...
Does it have like a Voltorb thing here?
Well, see, here's the thing, is it has to roll intelligence to get out of the illusion. It believes that it's trapped inside of a cube of water. Its normal reaction to that wouldn't be to try to intelligence its way out of it. It's dumb as a rock. I think it would just try to cook the water off. But there's no water, so when it tries to cook the water off...
Oh dear.
is my problem that I'm running into.
They're in my orb, but Nim's hopefully far away enough.
That's what I'm stuck on. I'm trying to figure
How
out...
big is it left?
It's like 1/3 of the size that it started as. It's not,
How big is it left?
too fearsome anymore. It used to touch the ceiling.
Yeah, but...
So, I mean, it used to be like a good, like,
phrasing there.
8 or 9 feet. I think it would try to cook the water off.
That makes sense.
I think that's basically like all it would try to do, which thankfully is not like a ton of damage. All it's basically going to do is it just tries to raise its
Flares
internal
out.
temperature and flares out, which basically just means that anybody within a 5 foot of it is just going to take the 1d10. I think all of you by this point would be dry. Everybody's been out of the water for a while and out of the rain.
But Kenna made it rain.
I made it rain.
Oh, that's right. You just made it rain. That's right. Okay, so everybody will take half from this, and nobody gets lit on fire.
Yay!
Who all's in the melee?
Everybody but Nim.
Everybody but Nim. So we'll say, okay, that's Lazarus, that's Dis, that's Kenna. So Lazarus, you take 4 fire damage, and Kenna and Dis, you both take 1.
Nice.
Easy, man.
I will say, I think, if it survives to the next round, I think at that point, if it tried to cook off the water and nothing happened, then it might try to intelligence its way out of it, but it's going to be kind of a stretch. It's pretty dumb. So, we'll see what happens if it makes it that far.
Maybe he just thinks it's fucked and gives up.
Yeah, you never know, right? Nim, then. Now it's your turn. Now we can do the psychic damage.
So the psychic damage isn't in it. It just procs on
Yep.
my turn for 3 psychic damage.
And it's dead.
I thought it was going to be higher than that. I'm not going to lie. I always forget how much damage Phantasmal Force does. I mean, it's fair that it doesn't do a ton of damage, because it's a pretty freaking strong spell otherwise.
So glad Uriah taught me about Phantasmal Force.
I've
Anyway,
heard so many things where people are like, is Phantasmal Force overpowered? Like, not really.
you have to be very, well, yeah.
I mean, it's good. don't
It's
get me
sort of like
wrong,
Wish,
but-
where you have to think of all the corner
Possibilities.
cases.
And it works great against stupid elementals, but against, an intelligent enemy, it's not nearly as useful.
I'm going to... Yeah, let's cast another chromatic orb at it.
Okay.
So,
Get it, Nim!
She
ranged
just
spell
misses
attack.
and smacks Lazarus in the face.
I don't think the 19 misses.
No,
That's
it's fine.
27.
It's a hit.
Even with
It doesn't have that high of an AC.
Here, you can roll better now.
Okay.
Roll higher. I believe.
Ooh, that was better. 13.
Yeah, that's better.
And it was cold. In case.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, but yes.
If anything,
I mean,
but
it
fire
hurts.
damage.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's magic damage, so it does full damage as long as it's not the wrong element, and cold is not the wrong element. So, yeah, I mean, the orb hits it, there's that impact. It definitely, like, you watch, like, a fairly significant portion of it kind of slough off, and just kind of join the more natural fire in the room.
Okay.
So it's definitely shrinking fairly rapidly at this point.
I'll skirt around.
It hasn't gotten suspicious that people are hitting it with swords and hammers through water?
According to Phantasmal Force, they justify it however they need to.
I wonder how it did that.
They're Aquaman.
Okay.
I imagine kind of a, like, chromatic orb style torpedo is how I'm thinking about it in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just see the attacks as, like, swooping through the water at it. They'd be like, how are these guys so hydrodynamic?
If it even has that thought.
No.
We have water breathing on. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it checks for that. It's like, wait, they're not water breathing. Intelligence save. Okay, anything else from Nim?
No, but I did move behind Dis there.
Okay, so you guys are grouped back up again?
But I am still out of its immediate melee range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Lazarus. It's definitely looking pretty small these days.
Yeah.
It's just a little fire elemental now, guys. I mean, come on, don't be so mean.
I mean, if it's counted as restrained, do I get advantage?
I don't think it gives that because it's only restrained in its head.
Yeah, it's not properly restrained. If you dip into that, then I have to much more seriously consider the fact that it should be immune to that effect entirely.
Yeah.
So it gets a bit
I
iffy.
think that's the only reason that the immunity doesn't apply to Phantasmal
I think
Force.
because the problem is with Phantasmal Force, then you could paralyze any enemy and get instant advantage or instant crit, and like that's a lot.
Well, that's what Hold Person does, basically.
But it's
Yeah, but it's
Hold
a
person's
specific spell
much
too.
harder,
Yeah, Phantasmal Force is much lower.
Or it's not hold
Person's level
person's,
2.
but it's hold creature. That's the one. That
Yeah,
monster.
hold creature, hold
and hold
monster.
monster.
Yeah,
It's
hold
like
person
level
wouldn't
5 or
work on an
6.
elemental.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
18
level 5,
hit.
right?
Yep, definitely a hit.
No smite on this one, I guess.
Yeah, level 5.
Just gonna
Which
club
is-
it.
Yeah, I'm just
I think
basically
we both
clubbing
got
it.
it in celebration.
I club it for 8.
Okay, which is 4.
And then I swing for 14 to hit.
That is a hit.
It's kind of right after me. Yeah. And then this probably will die. Actually, 2. 4 divided by 2. I rolled a 1 plus 3. There we go.
2 damage.
Feeling
That's
hot.
$2. Alright, I mean, like, it's getting smaller, but it's resisting your efforts to beat it to death with a hammer. You know, as fire does. Okay, yeah, that it will be Kenna then, unless Lazarus wants to move.
No, I'll just activate Tunnel Fighter in case it somehow does try to move.
Okay, you begin to get very...
I get ready to react.
I know it's supposed to do rolls to get rid of the goading attack, but since it got paralyzed in a water
no,
cube,
it's-
I just didn't...
It's till the end of my next turn. For
Oh, okay.
When I did it, so.
Either way, it didn't impact anything.
Yeah.
Kenna then.
How far away is the staircase from us right now?
20.
Yeah, about 20.
I know that the tidal wave seems to only push 20.
This guy's almost down. We might as well just boop him and go down.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I will note, the
fire.
regular fire is definitely starting to creep in again, but not at a point that I would consider... You're, like, right on the edge. Because I know Dis was being pretty careful about how many steps he counted out.
Nim's getting...
Nim's pretty close.
Nim's getting toasty.
Luckily it rained on Nim last turn, so that's why I'm not telling Nim he's on, bacon time.
Save.
Okay. Yay, it's actually okay with that. Jesus, 21.
Every time I want to.
Sorry, it does have a pretty high
Yeah.
Should
con.
have just clubbed it.
I should have just clubbed it, yeah.
Just like Lazarus is doing.
Shillelagh.
I should have shilled it.
Shalalala.
Well, and it counts as magical, so it would have done 5 damage.
Yep.
Yeah, you do more than Lazarus.
Nim whispers all this to you.
From across the room.
Yeah.
Right here. I whisper it to Dis, and Dis whispers it to Lazarus, and then it comes out as, Nim didn't think you did very well.
So just everybody burns their bonus action fucking telephoning in the middle of the fight. That sounds like Surf and Turf. that sounds pretty
we didn't use
you
our
guys.
bonus action for anything else.
All right.
The 2d6 would have been good damage.
Yeah, it would have been. Ah, well. Dis's turn.
You get stabby, slashy, whatever.
Whatever it is I do.
Whatever's happening.
I told
right
you,
now.
they're just big daggers. You can slash with them.
25.
25. That is a hit.
Sneak attack.
I mean, obviously.
Ooh, sneak attack almost damage. 15.
Okay. All right.
Bonus action attack again.
Okay.
For 20.
That's a hit.
How weak is it looking?
I mean, like, it's like Howl's Moving Castle sized. It's just that little fire guy. He's like a foot tall.
Yeah, I use my something strike here. I'll goading strike it.
I'll use my something
They all add
strike.
damage, so.
I'm going to use my something strike to finish it off.
Yes, a goading strike.
Okay.
Along with this.
Is that your last goading strike?
14
Okay.
in total.
How do you want to finish off the tiny 1 foot tall fire elemental?
I want.
Well, literally the building is on fire around you.
I just want to just keep fucking slashing it really quick while it's right in front of me. Just kind of like spaz out on it.
Getting like slowly lower and lower as it gets smaller and smaller.
And then I will kick it away from the party because I kind of have that direction where I can just kick it like straight forward and it'll fly away from the party. Even though it's fire that I'm kicking, but as a show of power over this.
Sure, I think we can maybe make that work. Yeah, so this is just like slash as it gets like smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you just kind of like kicks it.
It's like,
And it just kind of goes into a little bit of smoke, and then like immediately.
the sound of the roaring fire around us.
Yeah, I mean,
Back
like
in.
everybody's like, "Yeah, fight over," and then you realize that like legitimately Nim is almost on fire.
Kenna, tidal wave the stairs again!
I suppose we all just immediately are like, well, fuck that
Ready.
elemental, move towards the stairs.
Okay, everybody begins moving towards the stairs. The fire is moving in, but it's taking a bit to like dry out the wood and move forward.
the fire's going away. I want to, in my head, look at it.
Also,
and go,
before
Myra
Kenna-
sacrifices elemental to you.
Oh, into the fire that like
Yeah, when
poofed?
I kicked it.
You don't feel the usual effect. It either dissipated or you can't do it to that type of elemental. You're not sure which.
Ooh.
And before
okay,
Kenna
Allow me to
casts,
record.
be like, Kenna, let's try directly down. Have you seen how hot it is below us?
I'm sure I can feel it.
Well, I mean, when we
Yeah.
watched the title go down before,
Yeah.
it just fizzled, so...
So I will.
I suppose I'm just like, while she's doing that, I'm like...
Yeah.
Okay,
Water's
everybody's re-dousing themselves.
I want to quickly douse myself before I.
Okay, that sounds fair.
wave. And then I will tidal wave down the stairs, like directly.
Okay, so you get kind of right on top of the thing, and you say whatever you want for tidal wave.
Tsunami.
Very appropriate. The wave of water just instantly like shatters down into the stairs. You watch it hit the water, and there is a ton of steam created. Like, it is boiling off huge amounts of the water. Kind of works to your advantage. The steam is kind of erupting into that second floor, which hurts, but you've all doused yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually starts putting out the fire on the second level because it's steam, and it's kind of sucking, everything out of the room, basically. However, two things happen. The first is the tidal wave completely finishes, but there is still fire on the stairs. Not a lot of fire. It's cleared to about 3/4 of the way down the landing, so you can make it, but you won't be able to just go down the stairs. You would have to, slip around. The second thing you notice is carved and burned into the stairs is a large circular symbol with a triangle upside down and a dot in the middle that has been carved into the stairs.
Yes, we have. That was on the door and the trapdoor of the basement that we never investigated. It was also on the shoulder of the demons. All you have to refer to your notes. Nah.
Lazarus always crits his history check, except for when he can't actually remember what happened.
Well, sometimes heavy drinking.
Yeah, I mean, you guys blotto a fair bit these days. I will say we're just about at a break point. I know people wanted to end a little bit earlier today. How's everybody feeling? Do you want to... I mean, if we start the next floor, it'll probably be longer than an hour. So...
Are we content to start the next floor and leave midway? Or...
It's up to you guys. I leave it up to you.
Whatever.
We'll just start the next floor next time.
Sounds good.
That's fine with me. So we'll leave it at the fire is almost completely cleared, but it ate the entire tsunami and revealed this large symbol on the stairs, which its meaning and what it may or may not do is unknown at this point. Nobody's on the stairs. Everybody's standing above the stairs. So we will leave it at that, and we will see how Surf and Turf deals with it next go around.
Lazarus is going to have to try and do a check he's never done before and will obviously fail.
What?
Religion check.
Oh.
It's intelligence based. He gets -1 to those.
Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.